Thanks everybody for coming today. We're here, Hatfield Law Office. My name is Ryan Hatfield. Next to me is David Hatfield. Next to him is Aleah Beckerle. Today we're announcing a lawsuit filed in Vanderburgh County Circuit Court on behalf of Aleah Beckerle for the wrongful death of Aleah Beckerle. This will be a 3-count lawsuit. The first count is against Terrence Roach and alleges that the wrongful actions of Terrence Roach are the direct and proximate cause of the death of Aleah Beckerle. The second count will be against S&G Properties LLC and Gary Hoppel individually. S&G Properties LLC owned the vacant property where Aleah was taken. The negligence of S&G Property allowed for the availability and opportunity for this crime to occur. This vacant property was known to Terrence Roach as a property that he could use in criminal activity. In fact, in some of his statements, he says that he had visited the home and property prior to this date and used that property for criminal activity. The complaint alleges the lawsuit against S&G Properties claims that it was the availability and opportunity to Terrence Roach to use this property that allowed for this crime to occur. The third is Samuel Hoppold. Samuel Hoppold is Aleah's father. We don't believe that Aleah's father was involved in her disappearance or her death, but Indiana statute requires that he be named as a defendant and show himself for any availability. However, it's not our belief that he is entitled to any recovery. The person who deserves justice in this case is Aleah Beckerle and her mother and her caretaker, Aleah Beckerle. Justice can be sought through different avenues. However, it doesn't bring Aleah back. But there's the criminal process that has played out in this case, and we don't believe provided full justice. And so Aleah Beckerle comes today and files this lawsuit to seek justice against Terrence Roach and S&G Properties for the death of her daughter, the wrongful death of her daughter, Aleah Beckerle. With that, I'd be happy to take questions.
Is there a specific dollar amount that you're asking for from any of these defendants?
In civil cases, there certainly are dollar amounts discussed. However, this is about justice, and we are going to allow for the discovery process and the court process to play itself out, and whatever that determination is at the end of this process, we certainly will accept. However, this is about justice and allowing for the civil process to play itself out and for Aleah Beckerle to have a court determine that Terrence Roach was in fact liable for the death of her daughter, Aleah Beckerle.
Can you clarify the role that Samuel Hoppold has in this? And I know you said you don't believe that he is the person responsible.
Sure.
I'll do that. The Indiana Child Wrongful Death Act allows a parent to bring a case for the wrongful death of their child. If the father is not a plaintiff, the statute requires that the other parent who's not the plaintiff be named as a defendant, not as another party plaintiff, but as a defendant. And the language of the statute is so as to declare his interest in the litigation. So it's not, he's not named because we think he did anything wrong. He's named only because the statute says he should be named so that he has an opportunity to come in and declare his interest in the case, if any. Any other questions?
Has the case already been filed?
Case will be filed today.
Why not?
Why has it
Why take this action now?
Well, I think that Kara expected justice in the criminal process, and we believe the evidence is sufficient to show that Terrence Roach is responsible for the death of Aleah Beckerle, and in her pursuit of justice decided to pursue this avenue. I will remind you that it's not uncommon for families to seek both the criminal process and the civil process, regardless of how either one of those cases play out, to seek both remedies for justice. That's what this case is about. I think that Ms. Beckerle decided that now that the criminal process was over, that the civil process should begin.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Was there anything in this investigation or in the judicial process that was mishandled?
You know, we believe that the police department and the investigators in the case and the prosecution was sufficient to find Terrence Roach responsible for the death of Aleah Beckerle.
Anybody else?
So is this kind of like the O.J. Simpson's case where he was acquitted and then was found liable for the death in a civil suit?
You know, that happened in that case. I don't want to compare this case to any other. To Kara Beckerle, this is about Aleah Beckerle and no one else. However, O.J. Simpson was found not guilty of murder in the criminal case and was later found liable for the death of those victims. And so I guess it's similar in that way. However, this case certainly is about Aleah Beckerle.
What kind of penalties could be the outcome of this if either of these parties are found guilty?
You know, the civil process opens itself up to a wide range of remedies, and we certainly will seek some of those. First and foremost, and I can tell you from the moment we met with Kara, her primary interest was getting justice for the death of her daughter. And we believe that justice is that Terrence Roach be held responsible and that S&G Properties be held responsible. You know, this property was located in a high crime district of the city, and that this property was allowed to become a common nuisance and available to the community for criminal activity. We contend that without the availability and opportunity to Terrence Roach, that this property was open and available and a place to hide, I believe was his testimony, that this crime may not have occurred and that Aleah Beckerle may be at home with Kara today, but for the defendant's named.
Do you all believe that Terrence Roach acted completely alone in this?
You know, we're going to let the discovery process play out. That certainly was the police investigation, and we don't at this time have any major doubts about the police investigation.
What's the next step once you file the suit?
We're going to begin the discovery process. We'll certainly wait for the defendants to respond. They'll have an opportunity to respond, and I can tell you, you know, I don't think any of you have been called to a press conference at Hatfield Law. We don't intend to try this case in the media. We don't intend to have a lot of press conferences about this case. We intend to go to work and to seek justice for Aleah and to allow that process to play out in the courts. Thank you all. Thanks.
Thank you.
We'll be providing a copy of the complaint, so if you want to hang out, I think we have copies of those for you. We want to get care of that to your office.
Yeah. You ready?
Great.
You have anything you want to say, Carol? No.
She does.